Welcome to Scorched Earth. This is going to be a general reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon and Ascendant. If you don't know what your Moon or Ascendant signs are, have a look in the description box below. There's a link down there that will help you access your full birth chart. You just need your date, time and location of birth, and it will churn you out like a 30-page report, and you'll be able to see where all your stuff is. And then you should come back and watch the videos for your Moon and Ascendant signs, because you might find that you resonate with those slightly more than your Sun sign, or it will give you a better idea of what's going on with you overall than you'll get from just your Sun sign. So I am taking personal readings. There's a scheduling link down there. It's like scorchedearth.asme or something like that. Anyway, that's what you use if you want to book a personal reading. If you're one of the people that have booked already and you were in the very first set of people who experienced the teething problems that I was having with it, my endless gratitude for sticking with me while I sorted that out. Thank you, I really appreciate it. All issues are now resolved, and yeah, it's all good. Thank you for your likes and your subscribes and shares and comments and messages and donations. I appreciate every single last one of you for it. And if you turned up on the live stream and you had a little chat with me, that was awesome, and that would definitely be happening again because I really enjoyed it. So with that all out of the way, I think we're good. So let's pull 3 cards and see what's going on for you for May. I have 3 cards for Cancer, please. There's the first one, Queen of Earth. Nice. It's Capricorn in the Minor Arcana, I think. Ooh. King of Earth. Interesting. It's in your current energy. One more card. Holy shit. One more card for Cancer, please. And the Page of Earth. Wow, okay, that's the first time that's ever happened, I think. At the bottom of the deck, we've got the 4 of Earth there, which I should just say that's the Pentacles suit. I'm using the Lost Forest deck, and it's Earth in there. So 4 of Earth, which talks about releasing things. That's either a need to release or the act of releasing. You have to take it as it resonates to you. No doubt over the course of this reading it will become clearer. Let's just get a clarifying deck. Ooh, apparently we're going to use the second time today I've used this deck, and I don't think I've ever used it on YouTube before. It's what is it? Can't even remember what it's called. The Druid Craft, something like that. Anyway, actually seems kind of fitting with all of this greeny energy that you've got going on, Cancer. Right, where's the Queen of Earth here for Cancer, please? Where's the Queen of Earth here for Cancer? I'm not going to take that because it didn't jump. The Queen of Earth. What's that? I've got the Shaman. That's the Magician in a standard deck. I like it. How about the Queen of Earth, please? Earth. Sun. I like it. Those are the cards of Aries and Leo, respectively. Such a powerful card. That Sun card. It's amazing. Check it out. I like the way this is going. Right. What is the King of Earth here for Cancer, please? Oh, shit. That's like 7 cards. Not having those. Where's the King of Earth here for Cancer? We've got the Knight of Vessels, which is the Knight of Cups, and we've got the Ace of Stones, which is the Ace of Pentacles. More Pentacles for you, Cancer. I like this. Very little Cancerian energy in here, but I like it nonetheless. Tell me about the Page of Earth. Ooh. We've got 5 of Stones, that's 5 of Pentacles. Page of Earth for Cancer. Oh, the Great Bear, which is Judgment in a standard deck. At the bottom of this deck, we've got the Six of Arrows, which is the Six of Swords, right? So you've been moving away from something, and underneath that we've got the Ten of Swords as well, right? Moving away from really difficult situations, right? It's an end to difficult circumstances. This is a fascinating read, Cancer, already, and I haven't even got into it yet. So let's go. Right. The first card that you've got, and this is in your recent past, is the Queen of Earth. Now, this can be Capricorn, but I don't think that that's relevant. And, like, I don't think I've ever had 3 cards from a court come out for a past, present, and future read, ever. So, thank you, Cancer. That's a new one for me. And because of that, I kind of feel like it's nothing to do with the signs that they represent, right? This is an energy space. Although, and I'm just going to throw it up there because it does occur to me that it could be possible, this could be dealing very strongly with family relationships. I'm just going to throw it in because it was just what I heard when and it's family when I put it down. If it's not, and it might not be, then there are alternative explanations. But I'm really pleased to see this because the Queen of Earth for me, like the rest of the hierarchy beneath her, so the Page and the Knight, it deals with concepts of value, right? And understanding the value of something. It's understanding the worth of something. And for me, the Queen particularly talks about understanding your worth, understanding your value, right? Knowing what it is that you bring to the table. Not just for other people, but for yourself, right? It's kind of getting comfortable in your own skin. And if it's one thing that you've struggled with, Cancer, it's being comfortable, right? And there's this thing with Cancerians about liking to be of service, and that is admirable. That's an admirable trait, but you tend to do it at the expense of yourself in any given particular way, right? Emotionally, physically, whatever it is, right? You tend to put yourself at the bottom of the pile and you put everybody else first. Now that's okay for a time, but people will always take from you in those circumstances, and you will always give beyond your ability to actually give, to your own detriment. Until we see this, right? And this is you getting a little bit stronger and being like, I can't fill from an empty cup, right? I am worth something in and of myself, and I understand this. Now, this is in your recent past. This feels like it's quite a gentle energy. It doesn't feel like it was a massive revelation to you. It's something that you've made little steps towards, I think. And you're starting to feel more confident with it. Like there's this deer on here and they tread very lightly, they're very, very quiet. I don't think you've made a huge song and dance about this. I think that this is some conclusion that you have very steadily and very carefully come towards. And you're starting to embrace it now. And that's brilliant, Cancer. That's absolutely fantastic. And I just noticed that the deer looks kind of pissed. Like, it's kind of looking directly at the person holding the card, which is me, and it looks aggrieved, right? And that's good, because it feels like you're kind of noticing that people have taken the piss out of you in the past in some way, right? They have exploited that urge in you to be of service, that need to be of service. And you are starting to realize that that is the case, right? Good. That's really healthy. Now, the 2 cards that you've got to clarify, right, kind of at opposite ends of the major arcana, but they are major arcana underpinning this realization that you've had. And I like to see that because it means it's very fucking profound and it's not likely to shift anytime soon. And the 2 cards that you've got are the Shaman, or the Magician, and the Sun, Aries and Leo, respectively. But I feel like these are energies, right? The Magician is a really powerful card, right? He knows how to manipulate all of the elements to bring what he wants into the 3D, right? And there's no pejorative overtones with the word manipulation there. I simply just mean, you know, working stuff together. And it's almost like as your inner space is aligning, so your understanding of your own power and the power that you have to co-create your existence, you know, with source or the universe or whatever, is really starting to filter into your conscious awareness. It's fantastic, because like the shaman's kind of, he looks like he's come out of a cave underneath a tree, and he's got his foot on a stone, like he's about ready to push himself up, right? And he too looks a little bit displeased about something. Yeah, like maybe you can see him. Probably not. And I find that really interesting, because it's like you've developed a sense of self, right? You've come out of your cave. You've gone, oh no, fuck off. Hang on a second. I'm important too, and I'm going to put myself first, which is what you should do, in order that, you know, I can fully and wholeheartedly put whatever's left into everybody else without turning myself inside out to be at the service of other people, right? Very, very impressive. But then we've got this, you know, the light virtually bursting out of your chest here, right? This is an incredibly positive card. And for all the previous two cards look slightly unimpressed with whatever's going on, I feel like there's a real strong sense of self coming through. And although you might be peeved about something in one way, like you're finding yourself really strengthened by the realization that you can be upset with these people. You can be upset about being exploited. Like it's kind of like a validation of this now new sense of self that you have, which is actually incredibly illuminating and incredibly empowering, and you're kind of going with it, right? It's strong. That's a fucking strong stance right there. It's like, it's coming from the heart, but more, it feels like the love is from you towards you as much as anything else. You know, lots of different signs suffer with, you know, elements of self-loathing and stuff like that, but I feel like you're kind of bursting out of that and you're letting it go, right? It's not dictating how you behave any further. Oh, strong, powerful, I love it. Your current energy is the King of Earth. Now, let's go with the flat interpretations, right? This could be you getting a promotion. This could be, you know, you doing well materially for yourself. But I feel like, because it's come off the back of the Queen of Earth here, it just feels like a step up. It feels like an empowerment, you know, again, a leveling up from where you have been in the recent past. You know, you're kind of entrenching your position, and it's a really strong, powerful position. Like you've gone from, you know, a fairly standard deer to this kind of mythical looking creature. You know, it looks like it's wandered out of some sort of ghost plains of Africa. Right there. It's powering up. And it's somebody who takes their family life very, very seriously. Both the king and the queen do here. So it could be that you're a parent, possibly, or it could be, you know, you just in some way the head of the family. You've got parents to look after or children to look after or whatever. But it's like it's somebody who takes their duties really, really seriously, right? And Cancer, I've already said, you do that, right? Almost to a fault. But it's doing it in an empowered way. It's doing it from an empowered place rather than a desperate need to just please everyone all the time and be needed, right? If you are needed, you will be there. But you're not kind of sliding around in the undergrowth kind of looking for someone to need you, right? It's almost like you're kind of standing up in this bold, empowered state. Like, if you need me, I'm here. But I'm not going looking for you. You approach me, and if I have the spoons to be able to help you, then I will do so, right? I love it. And then we've got this Knight of Vessels and the Ace of Stones here, right? Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. Now, There are lots of different ways of interpreting this, but I'm just looking at the picture on this card here. And it's an eel, and it's moving through the water. Eels are really powerful. They're basically just like muscle. Like what? Muscle. You know? Just powering through the water, much like a snake powers through, you know. It's just a long, angry sock. And it implies movement because it's a knight, right? So definitely movement. But here, again, I feel it's very internal to you. I don't feel like this is somebody approaching you with some sort of, you know, offer. This feels like you getting on top of your emotional space, so much that you can move quietly and effortlessly through the water. Navigate your own emotions with almost without causing a ripple, in fact, right? It's like there's no drama around you now, and that's because it's not because there's no drama around you, but it's because there's no drama internally. Like, you can just swim through your own emotions, your own waters, perfectly happily. I love it. And then we've got this ace, right? More pentacles. I'm really preoccupied with pentacles at the moment. And they do speak of the material world. They do speak of the 3D. You know, so the ace usually can talk of things like new jobs, new houses, new like opportunities to make more money, you know, promotions, things like that. But the phrase on this card here in front of me is the foundation of life, and it feels like laying a new foundation for yourself, right? You see it? There's that stone, and it's all covered in cool like engravings and things. There's a labyrinth on it, and there's spirals all over it, and various other symbols. And it's kind of like, you know, I used the word entrenching when I was here, and it's almost like you're kind of going, right, this is who I am now, this is what I stand for, this is what I want my life to look like. And you're kind of doing everything to put that in motion, right? But it's all coming from you, and it's all coming from this newly centered space that you seem to be coming from. And that's not something that we've seen from you much in the past. I mean, certainly last year there were lots of issues of overthinking and noisy brain and kind of conflict, internal conflict. It's funny because the readings that I've been doing for the fixed signs this year, it's definitely pointed towards some sort of collective ascension. And it's been interesting that it broadly seemed to be sat kind of with the fixed signs only. And I had kind of wondered what it was that was going on with the mutable and the cardinal signs, that they weren't really experiencing that same level of expeditious growth, right, and evolution. But it seems like here you are, because you seem to have sloughed off any difficult emotional energy that you were dealing with, and you are entrenching this new value system, this new sense of how you navigate throughout the world. And the point from which you do that, right? I hope this is making sense to someone, because it feels kind of vague, but like, you know, I'll just tell you what I see. Now, what's coming towards you in May is the Page of Earth, right? So arguably this could look like it's a step down, but I don't feel like it is. I feel like it's the first step on a new journey, right? We've got these two cards together. Now, if this ace here is you planting your stone, if it's entrenching your energy, this is you then moving out and testing the boundaries of your new environment. It's really exciting, actually. And the Page of Earth is a student, right? He's a student of new things, and it's almost like, well, maybe you could be starting a new course of some description, you know, be going to uni or some sort of training or something like that. But it feels kind of bigger than that. It feels like this new, very grounded, very stable energy that you're moving forwards in. And now you've got your area all mapped out and you're all good, and you're like, right, where do I go from here? How do I move forwards out into the world with this new energy? And we've got the 5 of Stones here, right, which is the 5 of Pentacles, more fucking Pentacles. And this talks about lack, right? It talks about emotional lack, possibly. Any kind of poverty, and that can be financial, but it can be anything else, any other kind of resource that you can think of, right, 3D or not, right, covered by this card, or a fear of a lack or of poverty of those things. But what I feel quite strongly is that this is you striking out in a new way now. We've got this same imagery of this cave, coming out of this cave. And in fact, look at it, right? Coming out of cave, this kind of ascension, this realization, this positivity, this love, right? Very strong here. The imagery in this card seems to combine the two. You notice how this person's got this little flame, and then it's it's almost like you can kindle this for yourself now, right? So you don't ever have to be poor emotionally because you are looking after yourself now, but you have come out of this cave, right? It's this combined imagery. It's absolutely fascinating. And then we have Judgment. I want to pull another card for this because I'm quite interested. For the Great Bear, Ursa Major, as it is. It's quite a fierce looking bear. But Judgment talks about lots of things. It can talk about making a really important decision, right? That's going to potentially affect the direction of your life coming in. And I could see how that would absolutely be a case. And it's almost like this kind of fortitude that you've been building in yourself recently and presently and coming up is to prepare you for some big decision that will have some sort of effect on the rest of your life. And it can also talk about old situations, like resurrecting old situations that you thought were dead and buried, to deal with them properly again. You see it coming up a lot during the retrograde seasons. But I want to pull another card for it because I'm not quite sure which one of those it's leaning towards at the moment. Tell me about this. Right there. This Judgment card. I need to know about it. We've got 6 of Cups. Right. So that definitely does seem like it's a past situation. Tell me about that. 3. I'm not taking all of those, for fuck's sake. Judgment. Magician. How bizarre. That's fascinating. So the 2 cards that you've got are the 6 of Cups and the Magician. And it's bizarre because the Magician came out to clarify the Queen of Earth. So it's just like the first clarifier and the last clarifier are the same, which is interesting. But these 2 situations here, like these 2 cards here, speak of a situation that is in the past, right? It exists really only in your memory, right? But it feels like what's coming towards you in May is an opportunity to revisit an old situation, whether that physically appears in front of you or whether this is just like a mental exercise that you undertake, because you have a new perspective now. You have a new way of seeing the world, and it seems like you're feeling strong enough to go back, revisit this situation and come to potentially different conclusions than you did before. And that's really interesting because when you do that often leads to a very, very healing kind of energy off the back of it, because you see it with new eyes, you see it with a new perspective, and you see things about it that you didn't see before. Now, you're in a very emotionally strong place at the moment, and it feels like you couldn't really go back and look at this until you'd strengthened yourself up internally, and you definitely have done that. Right? You've no fear of any kind of poverty or lack because you've worked out how to make this fire for yourself. Right? This is not just channeling it from the sun. This is you making fire all of your own. Right? We've got this cave. We've got this cave behind this character here, right? But we also have this great bear on top of this kind of man-made cave here, right? And it's like, whatever this situation is, whatever it is you're going back to, there's something kind of difficult about it, right? It's a difficult situation, and it's maybe one that you've not spent any time considering because you know it's difficult, right? Because you know emotionally it's going to be hard. But you are strong now, right? You have that fortitude now. And then we've got this magician, right? And it feels like whatever it is that you go looking for and digging around in, like, you're just going to make yourself stronger, like really, really, undoubtedly so. I want to use another deck. What do I want to use? It's that one. You know, an increased knowledge now. I'm going to knowledge, not sense. It's knowledge of your own power. It's knowledge that you can do whatever it is that you need to. Like, you have literally all the tools at your disposal to create any kind of existence that you want, right? You've fought the dark and you've won. You've got one last situation to go back in and have a look at, you know. And then you know you've got every tool you need to make the new life that you want for yourself. Tell me about the magician. Why is the magician here? Oh, King of Pentacles. Six of Wands. Yeah, like, whatever you discover in your journey into the cave that has the bear over the top of it, right? It's just going to confirm for you what you already feel, what you already know. Like, you are strong now. You are not that person anymore, you know, that suffered in the way that they did, right? And you can leave it behind. And, you know, victory. You've got nothing to worry about, right? What is coming towards you seems to be actually entirely controlled by you at the moment, because this isn't external things coming in. This is you choosing to go looking at a situation again. And what you're going to find when you're there is powerful, really powerful for you, certainly. And it's just going to add to the strong work that you've done already. I'm kind of impressed. This is a bit of an awesome reading for you, Cancer. Like, if you resonate with this in any way, I'd love it if you would put some comments in the box and tell me about it, because this is just like a really quiet power up from the sidelines. So you just, while everybody was been distracted doing their own thing, you'll just be like, we're here, and you've set everything in place. You've stabilized yourself, you've grounded yourself, and you're going to come out of this experience even stronger and even more grounded and even more capable than you went into it. So it's definitely worth doing. It's a very valuable thing. Now, should I do an extended on this? Do you know what? I think I might, actually. I'm going to have to bob off and make my children some dinner, but I'll come back and I'll make an extended as soon as I'm done. So if any of this has resonated with you and you're interested in that, go and there's a link down there in the description. It'll take you over to Vimeo and you can watch it there. But if this is where we part ways, well done, Cancer. I'm super impressed. Very proud of you. Yeah, and best of luck with what comes next. But you've got it. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. All right, take care.